Welcome back, everyone. It's another episode of Chuck's Kitchen. Now tonight, we're not doing something on the smoker, we're not throwing something on the grill. We are going to teach you how to do a perfect steak on the stovetop using a pan, some simple ingredients. Now this is perfect for those Sundays that, you might have ran a propane on the grill, it might be raining outside, something I run into quite often here in Nashville. So I'm just going to be teaching you a 3-ingredient steak on the stove, also doing some beer review, obvious bonus content. It's an awesome Sunday, episode number 7. I think we're in 7 now. It's Chuck's Kitchen. Thank you all to subscribe, and we're going to be doing a little bit of steak talk tonight, so stay tuned. First step of cooking a really good steak is choosing the right steak for you. Now, if you don't like gristle or you don't like chewiness, I would go filet mignon. There's supposed to be no fat really at all throughout that steak. I like a little bit of more flavor, a little bit fattier. I choose a ribeye, or you could also get a New York strip that has a piece of fat kind of on the edge of it. But what you're looking for when you go to your butcher, your supermarket, or farmer's market, wherever you get your steak, you want to look for the color of the steak. Make sure it's a nice bright red and nice and tender, not firm, not dark red, nice bright red. It's going to make sure it's a really fresh, good steak. And I'm going to show you guys how we're actually going to season our steak. For this stovetop steak, we're keeping it extremely simple. We're just going to use 3 ingredients here. I got sea salt, I got fresh grinded black pepper, and garlic powder. That's the only ingredients you need. You can see this is actually a New York strip. I got these steaks from a farm outside of Nashville in Clarksville. Super nice marbling all throughout. This ribeye looks fantastic. It's all grass-fed. Keeping it super simple. A little bit of sea salt. Don't overkill it. A little bit of sea salt. Cracked black pepper. Once again, super simple. We want the flavor of the meat to be the shining star here. And then a little bit of garlic powder. Just kind of control it like that. Don't put too much, but everyone loves a good garlic powder. Do that both sides. And then you want to make sure that the steak is actually at room temperature before you put it in the skillet or in your pan. It needs to be at room temperature. If it's not at room temperature, the nice, fat, juicy muscles here, they're all going to shrink up, and that steak is going to become extremely firm and not tender. But if it is at room temperature, the fat capsules here are going to be able to release some of the flavor, release some of the fat, marinade, melt down the fat, instead of tightening it up, freezing, and that's just going to make your steak really tough. We have our pan set on a medium to medium high. You don't want it to be too hot. We definitely do not want to over-sear the steak because we're doing everything in the pan. A little bit of olive oil in the pan, and I threw a couple cloves of garlic just because it's going to make the steak taste a little bit better. Now, you don't, like I said, don't want it too hot, but when you drop the steak in there, you want to hear a little bit of a sizzle. Perfect. Now, you don't want to touch it at all for about 2.5 minutes. Now I'm going to put the ribeye in there as well. Now while that cooks, a good rule of thumb, if you try to pick up and remove the steak, it's going to stick to the pan a little bit. If it's sticking to the pan, that means it's not ready to be flipped at all. Not ready to be flipped. So you let that for about 2.5 minutes. About 2.5 minutes. I'm going to flip it and show you guys how to finish it off. That has just an amazing sear to it. Yeah, really nice crust. Really nice crust. All right, to finish it off, you're going to take half a tablespoon of butter right on top. Boom. Take one of the garlic guys, a little garlic clove. Boom. And then you're going to cover it for about 1.5 minutes. And that should be a perfect medium rare. Super simple, right? As always, while we're waiting for the steak to finish cooking, I'm going to do a little bit of beer content, beer review, bonus content. Always got to give the people what they want. This comes from Golden Road Brewery. It is based out of Los Angeles, so shout out Cali people. Shout out. This is an IPA. As you guys know, Chuck loves IPAs. It's a Wolf Pup Session IPA. I don't know what the session part means. Let me crank it open and give it a rip, see how good it is. Ooh, nice little foam action going on. Yeah, pretty crisp, pretty clean. Not too bitter. I don't know, I like this beer. Nothing too special about it. You probably have, 6 or 7 of these and, I don't know, not be too full to finish your steak. So I'm going to give it a 6.4. I think it's pretty fair. Always bonus content. We're going to flip that steak. Once you pull the steak off of your skillet, it's really important to rest the steak for a solid, 5 minutes or so before cutting it. Put some tin foil over it, cover it, just so when you do uncover it, the juices don't flow out. I like how awesome that looks. Now for you guys, I'm gonna cut into the middle of this New York strip just to show you how delicious it's gonna be. Oh yeah. Now, what did I tell you guys? I know this is a first preview. What did I tell you? Perfect medium rare plus. Now, that's how it's done in Chuck's Kitchen. First try. All right, everyone, that was a super simple, super easy edition of Chuck's Kitchen. Now, from our family to yours, this is sous chef Brody, test taster, my fiance Nicole. You guys get on the grill, get in front of the kitchen, cook some meat, and have an awesome Sunday. We'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.